Hello. Hello. How's everybody doing today? How are the fearless ones doing today? I'm just going to wait and allow a couple more people to join the broadcast. But today I wanted to talk about, of course, right now the series is about hope for the holidays. And today I want to talk about how to manage those questions, how to manage the questions that those of us that are grieving, as well as those of us that are the consolers, how do we manage those four questions that we get all the time? And thank you, Ken, for joining. I appreciate you joining all the way in Tennessee. How are you doing? I'm looking forward to the blog in 2016. Hey. Well, again, this Tea Talk is about hope for the holidays and how to manage. It's coming. Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. I've been watching those motivational quotes and stuff that you've been putting on Facebook. So, of course, keep it up. But like I was saying, this talk is just to talk about from the griever's perspective, as well as from the consoler perspective, how to deal with those four questions and comments that we always get all the time, or that we say to individuals that are in that dealing with loss during the holidays. So while we're waiting on more people to join, what I ask you to do is, of course, remember to tap the screen to send me love. I love the heart flow that we get on our videos, as well as sharing with your followers. So please be sure to swipe to the right if you want to. I don't know how that is appearing on the screen, but swipe to the right, whichever way that is. If you have an iOS device, to share with your followers, as well as swiping up if you have an Android device to share with your followers as well. So, of course, more shares as possible. That's always great. So I appreciate everything that you're doing. So let's go ahead and get started. So my first topic or question that we usually receive as a griever is what happened? How did he or she pass or die? As a griever, someone on that side, grieving someone, a loved one that you've lost, that question we get all the time is normally the first thing that people will say to you. And, you know, what happened? How did they die? How did they pass? As someone that's grieving, that's a really difficult question to answer. We tend to have to relive that moment when we lost someone over and over again, when we have to answer that question. From the consoler's perspective, of course, we see that as our way of acknowledging the loss and quickly trying to help and figure out a way to fix the problem. However, we have to be more mindful of how that makes the individual who has lost someone, how that makes them feel. So that's just one thing I want to put in everybody's minds, you know, during the holidays when someone is, you know, crying or isolating themselves, and they're talking about how they're feeling from a loss during the holidays. You know, they're sad because they lost their sister, brother, mother, whatever. Sometimes what happened isn't always what they want to talk about, rather than talking about how they feel in the moment. Question 2 is there anything I can do to help? As a griever, we really don't know what to tell you in that moment, if you can help us or not. A lot of the times we are trying to figure out something, or trying to figure out what to say to you to give you an answer. We don't want to just look at you and just stare with that blank look like, you know, I really don't know. I mean, just be there. You know, sometimes you're at that angry stage where you're just mad at the world, and you know, for them to ask that question, you know, a lot of the times we say just bring them back. And from the consoler's perspective, when you do receive that pushback or that anger, please know that that isn't out of us being upset at you, rather than it's just an immediate reaction from someone that has lost someone. Just be prepared for, if you get the negative side of that question, is there anything I can do to help? When you ask that question, ask the consoler, be prepared to follow up your question with action. Oftentimes we say, is there anything I can do to help? And they may just say, just you being there is all that really matters, and that's all the help I need. And then after a while, we're no longer there for those who have lost someone. Then you get that silence. Hi, Selena, fan. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here. Right now we're talking about question 2 that we usually receive from the griever and consoler perspective, and that is there anything I can do to help? I was saying earlier that as the griever, sometimes we respond to that question with some anger or some issues with them asking that question, and we want to just be more mindful of how we perceive our feelings during that time. Question or comment number 3 is, I know how you feel. I know that this is such an innocent statement that we receive all the time. And as a griever, this statement can cause a negative reaction that will come out of us. Sometimes when people say, oh, I know how you feel, if you don't have the exact relationship or have had that exact situation happen to you, then oftentimes people will ask you, do you really? Have you lost your mother, or have you lost your brother? Have you lost your sister this way? Have you had somebody in your family murdered before? Those questions, they may actually come back at you with, and if you haven't really experienced that, then how do you answer that question? As the consoler, I want everyone to just make sure that they're aware of, don't say it if you really don't mean it. Oftentimes when we're talking to people, we use the things that we say as fillers. We just say stuff to try to meet their need because it's out of habit. We get that a lot, things out of habit, and we just want to be more mindful as someone that's consoling someone in a time of loss. And last but not least, question or comment number 4, and that is, this too shall pass, and God doesn't put more on us than we can handle. So again, as grievers, we receive tons of scriptures, tons of little motivational booklets or emails, all these things, all of these things sent to us from those that we've met before, or just from people trying to console us. And oftentimes you're at that point where you're mad at the world. And as the griever, we just need to make sure that we understand that we know that when our faith is wavering, that's the first person or being that we go to, and that is the symbol of our faith, and that is God. We go to that place where we can talk to someone that will truly understand, and we believe that if we go to the Word of God and actually send that to someone, then that is helping them, that is consoling them, that is giving them some type of hope, for a better tomorrow. And we just need to make sure that we try to receive that. We know that it's with good intention, even though that's not really what we want to hear at the time. As a consoler, just be aware of how much you put on someone when they're already in their lowest point. As a griever, we hear you, but oftentimes we don't want to hear that at that moment. Again, it's just being self-aware and also aware of the person's situation that you're talking to. So I hope that these 4 points were something that you can take with you. I know we've all encountered someone in our lives that have lost someone, or we've been the person that's lost someone in our family, or a loved one, a friend of a friend. We never want to see anyone go through that. So hopefully these 4 points will be very helpful in how we interact with people that have lost and those that are caring for someone that's lost. Again, this is Fearless Nita. You Nita, just thanking everyone for joining my scope today. I hope that you share this with all of your friends. I really appreciate your support, and thank you for the heart flow there. I really appreciate everything. If you're watching this on the replay, you can always tap the screen as well and send me hearts. I really appreciate it. Of course, you can follow me on YouTube, Fearless Nita, where you will see this scope as well. Thank you, Ken. I really appreciate it. I will have this scope on my YouTube channel. I know on Periscope, the scopes are only available for 24 hours, but it will be on my YouTube channel, Fearless Nita, as well as on my Facebook page, Unita, EUNITTA. So again, thank you so much, and until next time, see you later. Bye.